I spent the last 10 years yo-yoing back and forth between looking good and feeling terrible, trying every diet, every workout, every plan the fitness industry told me to do. None of it stuck. And now I stay lean year-round without restricting or obsessing. Today I'm walking you through my full transformation so you can skip a decade of pain that I went through. So if you've ever felt stuck, inconsistent, or frustrated with your fitness journey, this is for you. And by the way, if you're serious about transforming your health and you want help doing it faster than I did, I have an application link below. But first, let me show you exactly what not to do. Early on, I was super skinny, no muscle, no confidence, just that shy kid who felt invisible. And being that skinny made me feel like less of a man. I waited an entire year from when I first said, I'm gonna start going to the gym, to when I actually stepped foot in the gym. Why? Because I was terrified of what other people would think. I was afraid I'd look stupid, afraid people would judge. And that's honestly one of my biggest regrets. Because if someone had just told me back then, bro, nobody freaking cares. Everyone's too focused on their own problems, on themselves. Just start. And I would have saved myself a year of being stuck. So if you're watching this and you've been putting off starting, whether it's the gym, a different goal, anything, just do it. Just start. Nobody is watching you as closely as you think. And when I eventually did start, 2, 3 years in, I started to look really good. I had muscle, I was confident, people noticed. But then here comes my next big mistake. I just thought that eating more food meant more muscle, more gains, and that more time in the gym meant more muscle. I wasn't paying any attention to what I was eating. I wasn't taking my nutrition seriously. I was just eating as much as I could and it was assuming it was all going towards muscle. I had absolutely no guidance, and I really wish I had because it would have made me look a lot better. I kind of just got chunky. Anyways, life happened. I moved cities, started a new job, felt a little lonely, really lonely. And suddenly, food became my coping mechanism. I lived right across this grocery store, and whenever I had a hard or long day, I'd walk in, I'd turn to the right, because that's where the bakery section was, and I'd grab my favorite frosted sugar cookies. And then I'd go straight to the chip section and get me a family-sized bag of Cool Ranch Doritos. I love Cool Ranch Doritos. And I'd do this every single time. And the amount of shame and guilt that I felt from this was immense because I'd tell myself, this is the week. Today is the day that I'm finally not going to do this. I'm going to stop. But then I'd go back and buy the same things over and over again. And that rock bottom moment was that one night I went in, I was like, I'm only going to get the cookies today. And that's what I did. I bought the cookies. I came home, I ate them, and then I went back to grab the Doritos, and I ate them in my bed and watched Netflix for 3 hours until I fell asleep. And it was in that moment where I was like so frustrated because I kept breaking the promises that I was making to myself. I kept saying, tomorrow I'm going to start eating clean, but then it became next week. And things never changed. It took so much shame, guilt, frustration, where I finally put my foot down. So I tried to do everything that modern fitness tries to tell you to do. Super restrictive diets, crazy workout plans, keto, carnivore diet, 72-hour fast, all the things that were considered healthy. And sure, I'd lose weight, get my body looking good again, but inevitably I'd gain it all back. I'd go from looking good to chunky, looking good to chunky, over and over and over again. And I just think, why can't I stay consistent? Why can't I stick with it? And here's what I didn't realize. It wasn't my discipline. It wasn't motivation. The problem was that I was following methods that were designed to fail. These super restrictive diets, they work in the short term. But the second that I stopped restricting, I started craving everything that I was avoiding. The rebound was crazy. Emotional eating, binge eating, overeating. And suddenly I was right back to where I started. And those healthy foods that I was eating, turns out they were wrecking my stomach and wrecking my body. They were destroying my metabolism, destroying my gut, and I thought I was doing everything right. And that's when I discovered the concept of metabolic health. Because here's the thing, I had a good body on the outside, but I was not healthy on the inside at all. Look at my face in this picture. Even though I looked fit, I was dealing with low energy, mood swings, fatigue, brain fog, couldn't even focus for more than 15 minutes at a time, negative self-talk. And I thought, this shouldn't be happening. I have a good body. I'm working out. I'm eating healthy. What's going on? And turns out there was all of these things, hidden things that were wrecking my metabolism that I had no idea about. Looking at all the ingredients on the quality of food I was eating, how my gut was functioning, sleep quality, stress. And once I started diving deep into metabolic health and how my body actually reacts to food, how my gut affects my brain, and how my hormones were completely out of whack. Once I made these changes, the difference was night and day. I went from feeling like crap to looking refreshed and feeling amazing, having energy all the time, and fixed all of those problems that I mentioned before. You can literally see it from my face. And it wasn't even just about aesthetics or looking good. It was about being able to operate at 80, 90, 100% of my capacity. Because before I was operating at 50%. And I thought that was normal. That's what good felt like. And once I figured out the metabolic piece, I had a moment where I was like, oh my God, holy shit. I can't believe that's how I used to feel. And I thought that's what it meant to feel good. But metabolic health was only half of it. The other half, understanding me, understanding my own mind. The moment that night that I hit rock bottom with the cookies and the chips, that's when I started diving into all of this. The neuroscience, the behavioral psychology. What were the emotional triggers that were causing me to do these unhealthy things? What was my environment like? Why was I doing? How was my environment and lifestyle set up in a way that made it really easy to do those unhealthy things? I started looking at the patterns. Like in college, whenever things got hard or stressful, I'd go to the dining hall or convenience store and buy ice cream sandwiches and Cheetos. When I moved to Charlotte, a new city alone, I'd eat these family-sized bags of kettle chips and trail mix from Costco. And then in Atlanta, it was the cookies and the Doritos. I started recognizing these hidden patterns. Looking back, I can see them so clearly now. But diving into the behavioral psychology and the neuroscience, I realized that systems is more important than discipline and motivation. You have to understand how your mind, and you need to design your environment with systems so that making the healthy choice is just something you do. You don't have to think about it. And so once I figured out the combination of these two things, becoming metabolically healthy on the inside, understanding neuroscience and behavioral psychology, that's when I was able to stay consistent. That's when I was able to stay lean and aesthetic year round. My confidence skyrocketed. I feel like I'm performing at a higher level in every single area of my life, no matter how busy work gets, if I'm traveling or if I'm eating out. And I do this all while spending 3 hours in the gym in the week. I truly believe that health is wealth. It has made such a big difference for me. It has given me a ton of purpose in life and has taught me so many skills that have translated into every single area of my life. And I truly believe that once you're operating at 100% of your capacity, once you feel good and healthy, man, it is night and day. Because I used to operate at 50% of my capacity and I thought that's what good felt like. And once I got to 80, 90, 100%, I had that moment of holy shit, I can't believe I thought that's what good used to feel like. And I would love nothing more than for you to feel that someday. So if you want help getting to that point, you're tired of the yo-yo, you're tired of being inconsistent, tired of feeling stuck, I have an application down below. See you there.